Are you wanting to avoid being the prey for the stalker in the shadows? Well, here is some information that will help you handle these machines. I am DPG06 and welcome to Channel 06 Entertainment. This is a gaming channel for you where we cover mostly RPG games and showcase guides to boss battles and certain missions. The Stalkers is one aggressive machine and it can and will do crazy damage if you aren't being careful. And I know it sounds crazy calling it the Stalker, but that's the name of the machine. So just bear with me, but between it going invisible and using its dart gun, it does crazy damage, and that is a deadly combo with those two mechanics. So those would be the main parts that you want to focus on of disabling. Speaking of the focus, let's talk about the weaknesses around the Stalker. So the body of the Stalker is mainly weak to the shock. So using any of the shock elements in your kit will work in your favor against this machine. But what you want to mainly focus on is going to be that dart gun. That's going to be their long range damage dealer, and it does a lot of damage. So you want to make sure that you take that out first, and then you want to focus on that stealth generator next, which is located by the front legs. And these machines are pretty hard to see, especially in the dark. So taking these components out will help you in this battle a lot more. And then after that, if you want to focus on the mine launcher, you can, but you should be able to handle this machine after you take out those two elements from the Stalker. Now, when it comes to skill sets, there are a lot that you can work with, but these are the main ones that I would suggest. So there's going to be 5. One is going to be the Prowler. Under the Prowler is going to be Hunter's Reflex. I will advocate for this skill in a lot of fights. The Hunter Reflex helps you time slow down while aiming during a jump or a slide. And there is a special way to use this skill to where then you can be able to use that and you combine it with your other skill, which is going to be under the Brave, which is concentration. With concentration, while aiming down, you can slow down time with your R3 if you're on controller ability, and that helps out when you combine those two to where you can be able to get an easier shot when it comes to that. Next, I will introduce the Concentration Plus. It just increases your maximum duration around concentration. Critical hit, so once you do the stuns and you stun the opponent, then it helps you be able to put heavy damage down while they're already down. And then precision is always a good little plus. You can have it if you want to, but it's a light spear attacks. It helps you remove components from the machine. So if you can afford it, I would definitely look into double shot and triple shot. This is where you can add arrows to your attack to where you're not just shooting one, you can shoot 2 or 3 depending on how much you add to your bow. And then lastly, I would suggest Precision Plus. So with Precision Plus, it's just adding like that extra damage of increased chance to remove armor and components. So it's very, very useful whenever they do engage in a close fight. Instead of you using your bow, then you can use your spear to taking those components off of the beast. When it comes to weapons, you want to use whatever's at your disposal, but to make your gameplay easier for you to where you're not wasting your time with certain weapons and whatnot, I would suggest any bow that you're able to use the tear blasters. For me personally, I have the Karja sharp shot bow. That is something that I use to be able to use that tear blast shot to where it can remove those components a lot easier and faster. And then you obviously want the trip caster as well, that has the shock traps, just because the shock traps are very, very useful in these type of fights. Speaking of these type of fights, now we're all set to confront the Stalker. First, we know the weakness now. We know what weaknesses is going to be able to help us in these type of fights to give us the advantage. We have the weapons now of what we can use against these to give us the advantage. And obviously having the most efficient skill set to handling these stalkers, right? So first thing first, you want to set up your traps. You want to set up your shock traps. I'd say 2 or 3 sets of traps to where if they were to engage you in close range, you have those traps set up in place to where they down them, shocks them, stuns them, to where then you can use your critical hit to take care of them. But you want to use your tear blast arrows to take off that dart shot as soon as possible. Depending on how you hit it, you can take off the dart shot as well as the stealth generator at the same time. Worst case scenario, you just have to use 2 arrows to hit both of them. But once those 2 things are removed, it makes it a lot easier for you to be able to handle this beast. And like I said, you have those traps, lure them to them traps. It helps you in these situations where you immobilize them, to where you can do that critical hit, use your tear blast shots to take out those components to make your fight a lot easier. And then once you got those, it's really up to you how you handle it from there, using your triple shot, double shots, all that good stuff. And just doing as much damage as possible. It doesn't hurt to add fire to it, to put that fire residual damage on there too. That's always a plus to use as well. Now you have all the tools and the knowledge to becoming the hunter instead of the hunted. When you need more tips around these machines, make sure you subscribe for more content around this in this game. And if anything in this video was helpful to you. Comment any updates or any other tips that could help out and benefit the community. We're all here to help each other out, as well as enjoy these games. And yeah, I hope that you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.